They say the night hides more than shadows. It hides the truth.
Welcome to Mr. Haunting Whispers, where real crimes, true horrors, and restless spirits speak through the silence. Listen closely, because sometimes the whispers are real.
Fear doesn't always come from the dark corners of the world. Sometimes it comes from the places we can't escape, the ones that live inside us. The mind is a mirror, the body a cage, and when the cracks start to form, sometimes the thing looking back isn't you anymore. Tonight, we open that door. 6 confessions from those who heard the whisper and realized it came from within. This is episode 6, Whispers Beneath the Skin. I've worked night shifts at a local radio tower for almost a decade now. It's not a glamorous job. Just maintenance, monitoring frequencies, making sure the regional broadcasts don't drop. Most nights it's nothing but static and the quiet buzz of old equipment. It's peaceful in a lonely sort of way. You start to recognize silence as a friend. But 3 months ago, I picked up a signal that shouldn't exist. It was around 2:47 a.m. I remember because I'd just made coffee. Black, burnt, bitter. The monitoring board flickered like usual, but then a faint transmission came through on an empty frequency, 174.3 megahertz. It wasn't one of ours. No call sign, no ID tone, just a soft, rhythmic hiss, like someone breathing through a wire. Then, a voice. Female. Calm. Whispering. She said, "Can anyone hear me? I don't know where I am." Then silence. At first, I assumed it was interference, maybe a distress signal from a CB radio. But when I replayed the audio through our archive system, there was something else buried under the static. Another voice, male, deeper, repeating her words perfectly, but half a second late, like an echo. I checked the logs, no transmission source, no record of the signal entering the tower. That shouldn't be possible. I told my supervisor the next morning, but he just laughed it off. Ghost frequencies, he said. It happens. Heat distortion, overlapping wavelengths. But I couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't a glitch. The next night, it came back. Different voice this time. Male. Sounded panicked. "Help me. I can't see anything. Please, I don't want to." The message cut off mid-sentence, and then a minute later, another faint echo. The same voice, but slower, distant, like it was coming from underground. After that, the transmissions started coming nightly, always around 2:45 a.m., always on 174.3 megahertz. Different voices each time, men, women, even children. Some begged for help, some were whispering prayers, some were screaming. But the worst part, each one ended the same way. A sharp burst of static, followed by a single phrase, "You're next." I started keeping notes, cross-referencing missing person reports, accident logs, local obituaries, and that's when I realized every voice that broadcast on 174.3 megahertz belonged to someone who was declared dead within 24 hours of transmission. The woman from the first night, found the next day in her car, drowned off the interstate. The man who screamed, construction accident, crushed. Every voice, every time. I started recording the transmissions. I told myself it was for research, but deep down I think I just wanted proof, something to convince me I wasn't losing it. But when I played the tapes back, I noticed something terrifying. After the voice fades, right before the final burst of static, there's always another sound, faint, almost like a breath pressed against the microphone, and if you slow it down, it forms words. Listening, 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 2 nights ago, I made a mistake. I tuned into the frequency, keyed the mic, and said, "This is station 8T7 responding. Who are you?" Static. Then, after a few seconds, "You shouldn't have spoken." The line went dead. That night, I dreamed I was standing in front of the transmitter. It was humming, louder than usual, almost vibrating the floor. And inside the glass of the monitor, I saw dozens of faces. Not reflections, not shadows. Faces, pressed against the screen like they were trying to get out. When I woke up, the frequency counter was already flashing 174.3 megahertz. I hadn't turned it on. Last night, the final broadcast came through, and this time, the voice was mine. I heard myself whispering, same cadence, same tone, pleading, confused. "Can anyone hear me? Please, I don't know where I am." The recording system logged no input. The tower wasn't transmitting. I was standing right there, watching it, but the voice was still speaking. I tried cutting the power, but the equipment wouldn't shut down. Every dial spun red, and the air filled with that same static hiss, sharp, hungry. And underneath it, I could hear the other voices again, dozens of them, all whispering the same thing. Listening, listening, listening. The transmission hasn't stopped since. The tower hums even with the power disconnected. And if you tune to 174.3 megahertz tonight, if you listen closely enough, you might hear me. Can anyone hear me? Please, I don't know where I am. That's the last thing the voice, my voice, said before the frequency cut out. When the static cleared, the room was dead silent. No lights, no power. Just the faint metallic ringing that follows when something impossibly loud has just happened, but you can't remember what it was. I sat there for what felt like hours, hands shaking. The air smelled like burnt dust and ozone. And when I finally stood up, I noticed the tower window was covered in condensation, except the fog wasn't on the glass. It was inside. A slow swirl of vapor, moving in time with that same low hum I'd been hearing for weeks. And through it, I could see the faint outline of faces pressed against the pane, shifting, whispering, as though the static itself had taken shape. That night, I packed my things, left the tower, never went back. I told myself I'd start over somewhere far away, but the next night, when I tried to sleep, I heard the radio in the motel room turn on itself. Same static hiss, same rhythm, and then the voice again. "Can anyone hear me? Please, I don't know where I am." But this time, it wasn't from the radio. It was coming from inside my head. I tried everything, threw out every electronic I owned, unplugged the TV, smashed the radio, but the hum followed me. In the hum of power lines, the flicker of streetlights, even the pulse of blood in my ears, every sound carried the same pattern. 3 beats, pause, 3 beats, pause. And if I listened long enough, I could almost make out words beneath it. Listening, listening, listening. A week passed. I stopped sleeping, stopped eating. My reflection began to glitch. I'd catch it moving a split second late or staring back with its mouth half open, like it was still speaking even when I wasn't. Then the dreams came back. Dreams of the tower, the red light flashing, the whisper rising like static through water. And each time I'd hear that final phrase, the one that ended every transmission, "You're next." Tonight, I think I finally understand what that means. It's not a threat. It's a sequence, an order. Whoever or whatever created that frequency is passing it along, from one voice to the next, from one listener to another. 174.3 megahertz isn't just a channel, it's a door. And once you hear your own voice coming through, it's already too late to close it. If you're still listening, do yourself a favor. Don't try to find it. Don't tune the dial. Don't search the airwaves. Because if you do, you'll hear your own voice, too. There's a room at the end of my hallway that I don't remember building. That's the simplest way I can put it. I live alone, 2-bedroom house, old creaking floors, leaky roof. I know every inch of it, or at least I thought I did. But last week, I woke up in the middle of the night and saw a light coming from the end of the hall, a soft yellow glow through a door I didn't recognize. And when I walked closer, I realized I couldn't remember what used to be there before. The door was slightly open. Inside, I could hear something faint, a kind of low, rhythmic sound, like breathing. I told myself I was dreaming. I even laughed out loud. But when I touched the doorknob, it was warm, too warm. I opened the door. The room was small, empty at first glance. Bare wooden floor, a single window covered by a sheer white curtain, and in the center, a chair. That's it, a simple wooden chair facing the wall. And on the wall, there was something drawn, a circle, faintly blackened like charcoal rubbed into the plaster. When I leaned closer, I realized it wasn't charcoal. It was burnt into the wall, a perfect ring. I don't know why, but I felt drawn to it, like gravity, like it was pulling my attention inward, slowly, patiently. The air in that room felt heavy, thick enough to breathe, but not enough to speak through. And I swear, for a moment, I could hear whispers from behind the wall. They didn't say words exactly, just small, soft sounds like people trying to remember how to breathe. When I blinked, the chair had moved, just slightly, angled toward the window now. I backed out fast, closed the door, and tried to sleep in the living room. Didn't work. Every time I started drifting, I heard the faint creak of wood, like someone rocking slowly back and forth just down the hall. The next morning, the door was gone. In its place was a blank wall, fresh paint, no hinges, no handle. I told myself I must have imagined it. Hallucination, maybe. Sleep paralysis. It's easier to blame your brain than to admit your house can change shape overnight. But that night, I woke again to the sound of breathing, and the light was back. I didn't open the door this time. I just stood there, watching that thin line of yellow light spill across the floor. And then, a shadow moved behind it. Someone was inside, sitting in that chair. And slowly, they turned toward the door. I ran, out of the house, barefoot, half mad. I spent the rest of the night in my car, shaking. When the sun came up, I told myself I'd go back, gather my things, and leave for good. But when I walked back in, the room was there again, door open wide, the light softer now, almost inviting. And this time, something was written on the wall beneath the burned circle. 3 words: sit, remember, stay. I should have left, I know that, but I stepped inside anyway. The air felt warm, like a heartbeat pressed against my skin. I sat down in the chair. The whispering started again, soft, gentle. And for a moment, I remembered everything I'd ever tried to forget. Every face, every mistake, every moment of shame or loss or fear, all of it. It felt like the room was showing me my life from behind my own eyes. And then the voice spoke. Not from the walls, not from the air, but from inside my head. Now you belong here too. I don't remember leaving the chair. I don't remember walking out of the room. But now, every time I pass that part of the hallway, I can hear it breathing again. And sometimes, when I try not to look too long, I see the faint outline of someone sitting in the chair, silhouette still, patient, waiting. Sometimes I think it's me. Sometimes I know it is. You've just listened to Mr. Haunting Whispers TV, where stories breathe in the dark and silence remembers your name. If the voices stayed with you tonight, don't worry, they always do. Some stories don't end, they just wait for someone to listen again. Until the next whisper, keep your lights dim, your mind open, and your doors locked, because in every shadow, there's always something listening.
You've been listening to Mr. Haunting Whispers, where every truth leaves a scar. If the story unsettled you, good. That means you were listening. Subscribe and stay close to the dark, because the next whisper might be for you.